or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Just south of Seneca Lake, amidst the rolling vineyards and woodlands in upstate New York's Finger Lakes region, sits a shrine of American motorsport. Watkins Glen International is more than just a racetrack. It's the birthplace of post-war road racing in North America, a worthy test of some of the best drivers to ever sit in a race car. Today, the Glen hosts the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series, as well as a 6-hour crown jewel of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Sports Car Club of America, professional and amateur racing, ARCA Menards, and a major vintage race meet in September. It's also been home to major concerts and other festivals. Over the years, the Glen has been lengthened once and continually upgraded. A lap around today's Grand Prix circuit still incorporates much of the original layout. The first turn, known as the 90, a right-hander and a good place to pass. Then it's up towards the S's, a series of 3 fast sweeping apexes leading onto the back straightaway. The cars reach their top speed here before hard braking before the bus stop at the end of the straight. Here the track doubles back through the carousel, followed by another long straightaway into the fast turn 10. A quick left-hander that's harder than it looks. The last corner, turn 11, is another fast right-hander that leads out onto the front straight. Racing first came to the Glen in 1948 in the form of the Watkins Glen Grand Prix, an SCCA-sanctioned event that ran on a more than 6-mile course over the back roads of town. The success of that event eventually led to the construction of a permanent track, the resulting product a little more than a third in length of the original street course. In 1957, the track hosted its first race, a NASCAR Grand National Series event won by Buck Baker over Fireball Roberts. The following year, Formula Libre showed up, and not long after that, Watkins Glen hit the big time. In 1961, Formula One came to the little town by the lake, bringing with it some of the most legendary names in motorsports. For the next 2 decades, the home of the U.S. Grand Prix was Watkins Glen. The early 80s saw some tough times for the Glen, F1 held its last race there in 1980, and it was closed to all but spectator-free SCCA meets for 2 years. The track would recover soon under new ownership. In 1986, NASCAR's Top Series returned to the Glen, and with it, a whole new renaissance for the track began. Tonight, it's round 11 of the Vigilante Racing League, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Watkins Glen International, the virtual Watkins Glen. Round 11 of the Vigilante Racing League. Gen 6 Cup cars here at the Glen tonight. Practice already in the books, qualifying about halfway done. Let's take a look at the race details tonight. 55 laps the race distance, 65-degree air temp, 40% humidity under overcast skies. That'll help the grip a bit here today, keeping that track temperature down. 4-mile-per-hour breeze and that track temperature at 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a 65% fuel load and unlimited tire sets, no fast repairs, one attempt at a green-white checkered finish. I don't think we're going to run into that because the full course cautions are actually turned off here. Running sports car style cautions tonight, local only, unless the admins deem something significant happening. They'll throw a yellow if necessary, but I don't anticipate that. We had a relatively clean race here earlier on in the season in the trucks. Derek Welch walking away from that one with the checkered flag. With that, let's go trackside here, see who's out on the track still in their qualifying sessions. Top time so far, it's the 33 of Alan Vaught, a minute 10:66. That is getting around this place in a hurry. David Feit, Dylan Bryant, Trevor Robinson, Tim Pope, the top five. Cawthon crosses the stripe here. Minute 13:559 for the 10. Kelly Cool in the 01. Minute 14:13 for lap 1 on the 01. car field here this evening. Stellar turnout for drivers here. Again, this league not known for their road racing prowess by any means, but they've been getting better at it, at least from my perspective. They've really put the work in to be better on these road courses. If you look at the top times here, within the top 9 drivers, all within a full second of each other. Kelly Cool back to the main straightaway here, crosses start finish at the line. Picks it up, minute 13:48, 17th quick for Kelly Cool. Mike Adamson now out of turn 11, minute 12:490 on his first lap, not too shabby. Lap 2 picks it up, minute 12:094, big pickup for the 88. Handful of drivers haven't taken the time. Craig Goodenough, Russ Kilgore, John Gallagher, Kevin Hunt, Dickerson, Bittner, and Dion Jones all opting to effectively start by way of I rating. Mike Everidge, Greg Dobson, Jack Dixon appeared to have started laps but ended them prematurely. Jonathan Osborne, same boat. So from 22nd to 32nd, looks like 10 cars opting to just start this one by their I rating position. We'll see how that plays out. So just under a minute left in this quali session here. Not enough time to get any laps in. We'll take a real quick break yet again. We'll be back with our starting grid after this.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Watkins Glen International, let's take a look at our starting grid on the pole position with a blistering lap time of 1 minute 10.663. It's the 33 of Alan Vaught. Starting in the second position on the outside front row, it's the 1 of David Feit. Starting third, it's the 51 machine of Dylan Bryant. Fourth starter will be Trevor Robertson. Fifth position goes to Timothy Pope. Jeremiah Burke will start sixth. Seventh starter is Derek Welch, making his return to the series here tonight. Eighth starter will be Dustin Eaton in the number 14. Sean McDonald rolls off from the ninth position. Ricky Wittenberg starts 10th. 11th starter is Andrew Player in the number 13. 12th starter belongs to Mike Adamson in the Phoenix Racing number 88. 13th starter Scott Roney in the 023. John McAdam from Blackjack Racing will start 14th. Chris Klein from Numb Thumbs Racing, the number 18, rolls off 15th. 16th starter is the 10 of Andrew Cawthon. 17th is the 01 of Kelly Cool. 18th is Dustin Wade. 19th, Anthony Williams in the 5. Dave Mayberry, the number 29, will start 20th. 21st starter, it's the 16 of Kyle Vaught. Frank Goodenough, the 89, starts 22nd. 23rd, Jonathan Osborne. 24th, Jack Dixon. 25th, Larry Dickerson. Mike Average, 26th. 27th starter is Russ Kilgore in the 2, Dion Jones. The 4 starts 28th. Greg Dobson, 29th. 30th, Kevin Hunt. 31st, John Gallagher. And last but not least, in the 84, it's Josh Bittner. It's your starting grid here from the Glen field, about to roll away. In fact, I think we're moving already. There we have it. Race info again tonight. 55 laps the race distance, 65-degree ambient temp, 40% humidity, overcast skies, 4-mile-per-hour breeze out of the north, 67-degree track temperature, 65% fuel load on board, unlimited tire sets. No fast repairs. One attempt at a green-white checker. I don't anticipate that being an issue given the fact that we have local yellows only tonight. This race at 55 laps, just about 10 laps past a full distance Cup Series event. Again, when the Cup Series comes to town here in August, it's a 90-lap event. Xfinity Series runs 62 laps at about 200 miles total. So we're just shy of that at 55. Stream chat's awful busy here tonight. Sorry for the late start, guys, to get you guys going. I appreciate you being here, and always thanks for chatting everything up here. Just keep it PG for the kids, but thanks for the kind words. Thanks for cheering on your favorite driver. We certainly always appreciate that. Keep it up throughout this race. Chatters, we got Tim McAdam, George Rincon, Nick Vader, hopefully I'm saying it right. Of course, Mr. Albert Anderson himself, Lori Vaught, Sarah Decker, Taylor Provax. Thank you one and all for being here this afternoon, this evening, here from the Glen. Pace car is in. Barney with the green in hand. And there it is. We're off and running. The field heads down into the 90. Alan Vaught with the early jump through turn number 1. Gets away from the rest of the field. Dylan Bryant, David Feit, Robertson, and Pope, the top 5. Pope jumps up into the 4th spot already. A side-by-side battle in behind the leaders through the S's. The 7 up a spot, taking full advantage on the jump of that restart. Single file up out of turn number 4 down the back straightaway. Alan Vaught's going to lead him into the bus stop. Vaught's going to lead lap number 1 over Dylan Bryant, David Feit, Tim Pope, Trevor Robertson. 33 unchallenged for the time being. The ones to watch, though, of course, Alan Vaught's got pace here at this place, clearly with his pole speed of 1:10 and change. Some heavy hitters to watch here. The 21 to Derek Welch, successful, took the race win here in the trucks earlier in the season. Has to check up big time through the S's. That's going to cost him a lot of momentum out of turn number 4. Able to block the lane off, though, but 21 to Welch, winner of the truck race earlier on in the season. He's going to be one to contend with here tonight. Dustin Eden in the 14, who's just behind Welch. He's also going to be a competitor here in a throwback Jimmy Spencer scheme, the camel colors. Let's ride on board here with Derek Welch. In-car camera here for the 21 as he rolls up through the S's. Oh, Robertson steps out big time up through 3. It's going to open the door for Welch. Welch looking to the outside. Welch jumps back to the inside here. Might set up the pass for the bus stop entrance here. Does he have it? Oh, drives it in deep. Almost there, but has to check up. Robertson defends. Welch through the grass on the exit of the bus stop. Welch runs a little wide out of turn number 10. He's going to give up a spot, maybe 2. Justin Eaton takes it away. Now Jeremiah Burke to the outside here in turn 11. Meanwhile, Vaught continuing to run away here. 2.3 seconds the advantage for the 33. Top 3 drivers all running where they qualified. New thing we've added here to the road course overlays, the battle box on the bottom right corner of the screen. Whatever driver we're focused on will roughly land right in the middle of that box. It gives you a few positions ahead, a few positions behind, and their relative distances, or times for that matter. I'll tell you though, Derek Welch just hustling that number 21 Camry through the bus stop. We're going to talk about a guy that really has put the work in over the last year or so on road course racing. He's reached out to myself for some help. Certainly Zach Millett, which is probably a significant help to him. But Welch picked up on it. It was a quick learn, as evidenced by that win back earlier in the season in the trucks here. Dustin Eaton, though, looking for some payback from the Glen. Wanted to, really hoped he was going to win that race, but wasn't able to do it as the 21 took it. Looks to the inside of Robertson. He's going to lock up the right front just a bit. You got to be careful doing that. The more lockup you have, the more likely you're going to have more. You kind of wear a flat spot into that tire, whichever one seems to lock up. Well, lap after lap after lap, as that flat spot gets flatter, you're more inclined to lock up on that same part of the tire each and every time. So that's something they got to be careful of. Sometimes drivers will dial in a little bit of brake bias to the back of the race car. It actually does help slow the race car a little bit faster if you put a lot of rear brake, especially in these Gen 6 Cup cars. A lot of rear brake into them. They will come to a stop very quickly. The only trade-off to that is they tend to oversteer when you put a lot of rear brake in it. If the back end wants to step out, you also run the risk of wheel hopping. Now, those that may not necessarily understand, what is wheel hop? What does that mean? Well, you get on the brakes, especially in a downhill environment like you'll see going into turn number 1 here in a moment. We'll watch Alan Vaught. As soon as you get on the brakes, right near that caution light on the fence, back end of the race car, if you get on the brakes too hard and you don't time your downshift properly, literally the back of the race car starts to hop up and down on the suspension. Basically, the tires come up off the ground repeatedly like a basketball. And the only way to stop it, there's two ways. Get off the brakes or get on the gas. Now you're in a braking zone. What do you do? Well, in that case, because that runoff there at the end of turn number 1 is paved, you just get off the brakes. If you got to overshoot the corner a little bit, you do what you got to do, but it's way better than spinning that car out. Meanwhile, Dobson's going to hit pit lane here. This might just be a strategy play here for the 085 of Dobson. I think Dobson might be stepping out of the race car here. Day might be done for the 085. Back out front, Alan Vaught enjoying a big-time lead. 3.5 seconds back to David Veit. Fighting the Busch Light Apple. Man, I miss that beer. Crushed many cases of Busch Light Apple here at the Glen. Last couple years, it's been peach only, but I guess beggars can't be choosers. Whatever's cold, we'll drink it. Tim Pope working his way through the field up into the 3rd spot, so relative clear sailing for the top 3 right now. Dustin Eaton now into the top 5. Derek Welch in behind, just a few car lengths back. Welch a little wide on the exit of turn number 4. Keeps it on the pavement between the white lines. We talked about that a bit on the Saturday tape-delayed broadcast of VRL. The key to success at a lot of these road courses is just keep it between the paint. Don't want to be dipping tires into the grass if you can help it. Certainly keep it out of that light blue Armco. Update on Greg Dobson in the pit lane. He got a piece of that Armco, as we mentioned. Steering wheel not straight, so Dobson had to come down and try and get that repaired. Albert Anderson says, Alan is checking out. He is phenomenal on road courses, especially here. Yeah, with a minute 10.6 in qualifying, that is impressive. Honestly, anybody running in the 11s, I am super impressed. That's a fast lap in these cars. I know we got overcast skies and a cool racetrack. That does help, but you still got to make sure you get around the place. Jeremiah Burke running back in the 10th spot. Jeremiah's lost about 4 positions. Not sure if he had a problem out on the racetrack, but he slipped back a bit. Greg Dobson should be leaving pit lane here relatively soon. Repairs almost complete on the 085 Napa Auto Parts entry. Mike Average running back in the 20th position. I know this is a reasonably simple paint scheme, but I just like it. I think he's got a nod to Doc Holliday there on the hood. Good looking scheme. I like it a lot. Running 15th, Craig Goodenough, sorry, in the number 89. Believe it or not, 11 laps complete here from the Glen. Alan Vaughts led every one of them up to this point. Second place still, David Feit. Tim Pope up 2 positions in third. Dustin Eaton up 4 into the 4th spot. Trevor Robertson still in the 5th position. Derek Welch in 6th. And we got problems there out of the bus stop. Dustin Eaton with an issue through the bus stop, gets into the outside Armco in the tire pack. His day likely over. He's going to tow it back to pit lane. We'll get another look at it. We were just watching him a moment ago. Oh, Eaton had a connection problem big time. Want to watch that a little bit closer here. We can get a shot from the blimp, and we'll go with the drone. Watch the left front. Hard left. Immediate hard left. When that happens, it is almost always either a hardware issue at the house, someone maybe unplugged the system, power failure, or an internet connection issue. I'm going to go with internet connection because he did come back just about right away when that happened after he got into the wall. But Dustin Eaton, his day likely done as he's going to tow back to pit lane with significant front-end damage here in the early running here at the Glen. Meanwhile, Alan Vaught still out in front, just running away. 6.3 seconds the advantage. So new top 5 now with Alan Vaught still the leader. Second place, the Busch Light Apple 1 of David Feit. Tim Pope up in the 3rd position. Trevor Robertson 4th where he started. Derek Welch up 2. Cracking the top 5 after Dustin Eaton had his problems out of the bus stop. Dylan Bryant's dropped back in the 6th spot after his 3rd place Q run. I am worried a little bit here. I've heard some of these guys grabbing the downshift a little bit earlier in that RPM range, really spiking it up to almost 10,000 RPM. You can absolutely grenade an engine or a transmission here at the Glen if you downshift a little bit too soon. Let's go on board here with Dylan Bryant. I want to listen a little closer here. Watch the RPM on the digital dash there. Through turn 11, a lot of right turn into it. Downshift into turn number 1 seemed fine. See, they start to redline about 9,100 RPM. Well, Dylan Bryant doing a good job on the downshift. Mike Adamson running 10th in the number 88 Bud Machine. Real close to that outside wall on corner exit. We got Jillian in the stream chat. Hello to everyone. Hello to Taylor too. Let's go, Kelly. Let's repeat last week and get a W. Almost right. She's writing a song over there. Alan Vaught just running a blistering pace here at the front of the field. Last lap, a minute 13:27. But David Feit holding his own here, minute 13:5. Couple and a half tenths slower than the race leader at the time being. Still having a strong run in that 2nd spot. I just got to wonder how long Alan can run at this pace before the tires become a little bit unmanageable. It certainly can play a factor. Bott reeling in a little bit of lap traffic. It's the 123 of John Gallagher. Further back in the field, the 82 of Mike Everidge. Everidge has gone down a lap, I believe. Welch in 5th. Scott Roney in 18th. Jack Dixon, Larry Dickerson, 16th and 17th. Still watching these three drivers here, 16th through 18th. We got Larry Dickerson in the 69, the 48 of Jack Dixon in 17th, and Scott Roney there in the 023. We're battling pretty hard there for a few minutes. Well, Kelly Cool is going to come to pit lane. So Kelly Cool making a pit stop here early on in the running. 19 laps complete, 4 tires and fuel. Likely to be a scheduled stop for the 01. We drop the jack. Kelly's back in the running. See who else rolls down. This might be a short pit situation, hard to say. But it may set him up for one more stop after this, making this one a 2-stopper for the 01. Cool back out ahead of Derek Welch. Sean McDonald's going to pit. M&M's number 23. Got the pink colors for Valentine's Day rolling up. Donald, a long stay in the pit box, still sits in the race car as others come to pit lane. Alan Vaught being one of them, the race leader on a turn 11 into pit lane for his first pit stop of the afternoon. Lap 19, going to be 20 as he crosses the line. Alan Vaught parks it in that number 1 pit stall. Benefits of being on the pole position. Going to be a 4-tire change for the 33. Sunoco race fuel going in. They pit the cars backwards here at the Glen as we run clockwise, not the anti-clockwise that you see on the ovals, but that moves the filler neck or the filler port on the right side of the vehicle. You see it there, it's on the left as well, but typically on the ovals, it's on the driver's side here at the Glen. The only place they fill from the right side of the race car, which does force the drivers into a situation where they need to almost practice getting into the pit box because it is completely different than what they do on the ovals and really anywhere else. Even at Sonoma Raceway, they pit on the other side of the car, the same place they do on the ovals, but that's a different procedure altogether for the pit crews. They've got to adjust, make some changes to get the tires changed out. Once in a while, you'll see somebody, they'll still try and pit the car the same way, except they'll do the right side tires first because that's the side of the pit wall, and then they'll go around and do the lefts. I haven't really seen that be much of a benefit. Some guys will try it. Dylan Bryant, Chris Klein also in the pits. Unfortunately for Dustin Eaton, he still sits in pit lane with damage on that number 14 Camel machine. Dylan Bryant down and away. He'll head back out. Chris Klein, 4 tires and fuel. He drops the jack and gets back in action. Andrew Player down and away. Jack Dixon with some trouble. Some damage on the number 48. I think he just made a pit stop recently, but there he is back in the pits. Lap 20, we do have some reports that there was an incident out on the track. We'll see if we can find that. Here it is. Down the backstretch, we'll watch a 48. Likely a problem here in the bus stop for Jack Dixon. Perfect entry on that first right turn in. Looked good there, looked good here. Gets it in the grass, and it looks like it's stepping out. Yeah, just loses the back end. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Dale Earnhardt Sr. did the same thing. I think it might have been the first year of the bus stop there. Same spot, same way. It's easy to do. Oh, Larry Dickerson also in the pits. Scheduled stop for the 69 machine. And you'll notice as well, we've got the track map up in the upper right corner. All those little white bubbles there, they have a number associated with it. That is not car number we're talking about. That is the position on the racetrack. So the driver in the race lead will be indicated with the 1, second place will be the 2, the 3, and the so on and so on and so on. Down the line you go. So if you're looking for Alan Vaught on the track map right now, as he's the race leader, he's the number 1. He's just getting into turn 11 right now, so we'll check on him. Alan Vaught, the Mobil 1 Ford, through turn 11 to complete lap 22 here from the Glen. Somebody in trouble here. The tires and one car off. Scott Roney, perhaps. Indeed, it was. The 023 having some trouble through the bus stop. Seems to be the hot place for action this afternoon. Take a look at it just a moment ago. Roney over the curb. Looked good there. Too early a turn in. Puts the car in the grass. And that's what's going to happen. Locked it up the best he could, makes marginal contact with the outside Armco barrier and tire pack. And I got to give him credit here. I know this doesn't mean much to a lot of you guys out there, but keeping it to the left of that white line, off the racing line, until you can get through the carousel here and then turn it back down onto the racetrack to make sure nobody else collects him. Big time bravo to Scott Roney there. That is something that a lot of drivers don't even think about doing. And they end up causing problems. So, job well done by Scott Roney there. Yeah, we talked about that early on as Roney heads to pit lane, is that a lot of these guys don't really do any road racing at all. There's a handful out there, certainly, that do. Alan Vaught being one of them. Derek Welch, Dustin Eaton, all those guys. Jeremiah Burke. But to have that presence of mind to know that traffic is coming through the bus stop just about where you end up crashing, be careful to drive away from the scene. Make sure you're not collected and you don't ruin anybody else's day. It's the small things, folks, and it makes a huge difference. Ooh, Derek Welch, a moment out of turn 11 there. Saves the race car, but all out of shape. Keeps it out of the fence. Keeps it straight down the racetrack. Welch still running in the 5th spot. 25 laps in the books. Tires certainly starting to go away for these drivers, but Welch made a pit stop here at lap 19, so in his case, they're just coming back up to temperature, and Welch is pushing. So Alan Vaught, as I said, been a pole position here tonight. Dominant performance. I believe even through the pit cycle, he may have led every lap up to this point, enjoying an 11.3 second advantage back to David Feit. So just a couple of laps shy of halfway here from the Glen. Vaught just needs to play it cool here, take care of the race car, maybe save a little bit of tire here just to make sure it's drivable at the end of the run. Again, a two-stop race likely in effect here. Drivers came down to pit around 19, lap 20 in that range. So 19, then again, maybe in the next lap 38. That should be enough to get them to the finish from there. Greg Dobson has made it back to the racetrack. You see the 085, the Napa Camry there, back out. Props to Greg Dobson, too, just to have that damage, spend the time to get it fixed, and then get back out and run the rest of the laps. A lot of guys would just call it a night and say, yeah, well, this isn't my deal. I don't like road racing. I'm done. But no, he's back out there. David Feit still running in the second spot, but man, he is just so far behind Alan Vaught now. 11.8 seconds the advantage. Alan Vaught back to the main straightaway into some lap traffic here as now we've completed lap 27. We are halfway here from the Glen. We're going to take a quick side-by-side track limits break. Stay with us. We're going to stick with the action, though, so you won't miss a moment of it. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at the Glen, 30 laps up on the board, just about complete as Alan Vaught's out of turn 11. Vaught might be backing off just a hair. A minute 12:02 was the last lap for the 33, but he's still 12.8 seconds ahead of David Feit, stretching out the advantage nowhere near to the length that he was early on in this race. So just trying to take care of the race car, take care of the tires, not wad it up unnecessarily. John McAdam running in the third spot. Tim Pope back up in the third position still. Trevor Robertson, though, hot on his trail. Car length off the back bumper. Meanwhile, Derek Welch is going to come to pit lane. This seems a bit early. Oh, Welch might be done for the night. No. Steps out of the car for a minute, but is he going to go back in? Oh, that's a tough break here. Derek Welch might be done for the night. Not sure the situation there for the 21. Had a strong run going, was in the top 5 all night long. Does appear that the drivers that have left the session have left blank spaces in our timing tower. So 21st position is Derek Welch. You see the empty space there in the tower. And then 26th position, Jack Dixon, also out of this one. Switch this up here to the top 20 here, I believe, in just a moment. In fact, yeah, we'll do that right now just to fix that. And all the lead lap cars within the top 12. Then Kyle Vaught, 13th, 1 lap down. Kelly Cool, 14th. 15th, Andrew Player. Williams, 16th. Dave Mayberry, 17th. Craig Goodenough, 18th. Mike Everidge, 19th. And 20th is Kevin Hunt. Alan Vaught with now a 15-second advantage. Alan just dominant performance. into the bus stop, exiting the bus stop. Second place just out of the S's. I'll tell you, David Fight's going to have a fight on his hands here. Tim Pope right to the back bumper. Let's go on board here with David Fight looking back at Tim Pope. Derek Welch giving us some information here in the chat. Says, couldn't run a full race, but had fun. Gotta go. Well, Derek, I'm glad you're able to come out and run, man. Got a battle for the position, though. Tim Pope looks to the inside now, outside of David Fight for the second spot through turn 11. Fight trying to hold him off. It's going to be a drag race down the main straightaway here. Who's going to outbrake who down into turn number 1? Pope a little bit later on the brakes in the preferred entry. He'll have the room to clear. Fight slips back to third position. Now Trevor Robertson's going to try to attack and take the third spot as well. Fight able to hang out of that third spot for the time being. Robertson, though, has a real strong car, especially through the first third of the lap, down into turn 1 up through the S's. We'll see if he can do anything with the 1 here this time. Kyle Vaught going to turn his car way low on the racetrack to make room for the lead lap cars to continue their battle. Tim Pope now up to that second spot, though. I just don't think there's enough time. And Fight overdrives turn number 1. Opens the door for Robertson. May have been some wheel hopping, a little wiggle out of the 6, trying to put the power down into turn number 2. Spun the back tires. Can't tell me these guys aren't trying here. Trevor Robertson in that 4th spot. That's where he qualified. He doesn't want to finish there. He wants to move forward. Robertson now in turn 11, going to make the move around the outside of Fight. This was the weak spot for the 1 a couple of laps ago when Pope got around. We'll see if he battles back. Remember, he overdrove turn 1 the last lap. Does he make it stick this time? Robertson turns it down. They lock up the brakes. Robertson runs a little bit wide. Fight on the power. They're side by side into the S's. Tough spot for you go too wide through the S's. You can do it, but it's not the easiest thing. They make contact. A little wiggle from both drivers. They keep it going straight. On to turn 4, Robertson almost in the grass. This the battle for the 3rd spot here. Lap 37. Into the bus stop. Fight maintains the position. Good entry into that first right-hander. Opens up the advantage to a car length or so, but Robertson drives it deep into the carousel. Has to check up to avoid contact. Still a car length off the back bumper of the 1 out of the carousel. Great action here at the Glen. It's not for the race lead, but you know what? I don't care. Action is action. Fight to the outside, a little bit wide out of turn number 10, over the rumble strip. Back in the day, that was all grass. Hell, way back in the day, there was an Armco barrier there as Robertson comes to pit lane. So the 6 of Robertson was really battling hard there with David Fight. Opts to come to pit lane this time. 4 tires and fuel for the 6. Drops the jack and heads back out. Should be good to go to the finish of this one. So Robertson after the pit stop showing in the 9th position. Still pit stops needing to occur for others. David Feit from the 3rd position. He's going to hit pit road himself. Final stop for the 1. He'll have a 1-lap tire advantage, but the key here is does he get out ahead of the 6? Robertson down the main straightaway. Doesn't look like it. Feit's going to have to battle here. And Robertson's going to take the spot. Just 1 lap of a tire advantage makes the difference there for the 6 machine. Feit's going to need to battle here once they're up to temperature. Try to reel in Trevor Robertson, see if he can take it back. Meanwhile, the race leader Alan Vaught on pit lane for the final time today, followed by many others. Tim Pope being one of them. So Alan Vaught finishes up his pit stop. Tim Pope is down and away. Dylan Bryant into his pit stall. Jeremiah Burke the same. Again, final pit stops of the race underway here at the Glen. Vaught crosses the stripe, 15 laps to go, a 16-second advantage over the second-place machine of Trevor Robertson. I'm not sure if Tim Pope had a problem in or out of pit lane, but he was second prior to the pit stops. My only thought here is Robertson may have gained enough, effectively by short pitting, kind of undercut the 7 of Tim Pope. So that moves Robertson up into the 2nd spot. David Feit 3rd, Pope back to 4th. That's Jeremiah Burke, Dylan Bryant, Chris Klein, Osborne Adamson, and John McAdam in the top 10. Those are your lead lap cars. Robertson actually starting to gain slightly on Alan Vaught. fact, that last lap, Robertson was faster by about 0.4. Just 0.02 shy of 0.4. The last lap for Alan Vaught, 1:11.90. Robertson was an 11:52. Sarah Decker in his stream chat says, I can't tell you how many times I've stopped breathing just watching Dave fight in person and here. Man, oh man. Yeah, I'm with you here tonight especially. Trevor Robertson definitely on the chip here tonight, up into that second spot after qualifying fourth. Tell you though, it's been the Alan Vaught show since lap number 1. It's not over yet, but still work to be done. And Alan Vaught, the dominant performer here on the road course at the Glen this evening. David Feit now back in that third spot, working through some lap traffic. Tim Pope still a ways back there in that fourth spot, real loose in the turn 10 just a moment ago. Kevin Hunt running way wide, lets the lead lap cars through. Tim Pope showing a little bit of right front damage. We're starting to see that here. We'll try to get a better look at it. Drone's a little too low in the sky right now. We'll see if we can get a better look in a moment. It's through turn number 10. Get the garage area in the way. We'll see him. There he is. Comes into the frame. Little right front fender damage. He's made some contact with another driver or the Armco barrier. Pope still looks good out there. Lap time, 1:11.89 was the last lap. Only a 10th off the race leader, so he's moving out there. Don't know if he's got enough time to reel in. David Feit, 2.5 seconds back. We've got 10 laps to go. There's time. Oh, Feit runs wide in turn 10. That'll certainly shrink the deficit back to Tim Pope. Feit's got to race the racetrack at this point. So Allen Vaught in cruise control, 18.2 seconds the lead over second place Trevor Robertson. We're watching David Feit here, still in that third position, trying to stay up in front of Tim Pope. It was 2.5 seconds a lap ago. Now it's down to 1.46. It was a mistake the last time through 10. Does he get through clean? This time he does. Very conservative through turn number 10. Cost him a 1/10.5 though. Don't know if it would have cost him the same if he ran wide, but nevertheless didn't make a mistake this time. Deficit holding still about 1.4 back to Pope. On board now with the 7 to Tim Pope. Pope across the line, minute 12:77, still about a 10th faster than third place David Feit. He's cutting into it. I just don't know if there's enough time left. It's down to 1.1 seconds up through the S's. Might need to rely on a mistake or two out of David Feit, but Pope still faster, starting to catch, burping that throttle all the way through the S's, really working that race car. Back half of the race course, a little bit better for David Feit. The benefit for Tim Pope is up through the S's. To expand upon that, where he might be picking up that time is he might be throwing away turn number 1 to have a good exit out of turn number 1. A lot of guys will overdrive the entry into that first turn here at the Glen. That's fine to do if you're trying to pick up a position, but you got to be able to block the whole way through the S's if you do that, because you don't have the speed, you don't have the momentum. We talk about on the ovals how drivers will back up their entry. You do the same thing here in turn number 1, at least to be successful. You get on the brakes a little bit sooner than you would plan to normally, or you're capable of maybe in qualifying, just so that you have that exit speed out of 1 and you carry that speed all the way through the S's, all the way down the backstretch until that heavy braking zone into the bus stop. A lot of guys will be like, oh man, you're throwing away turn number 1. Exactly, because I don't want to throw away the first half of my lap. It seems to be where Tim Pope is gaining all that time right now, as it's down to under a second and 8/10 just here in that first third of the lap. We'll see if it picks back up, because Feit has certainly shown his ability to be quicker here from the carousel all the way back to start-finish. Pope is there. A couple of car lengths off the back bumper. Real loose, though, out of 11. Got to keep a close eye on this fight. No pun intended. Battle up through turn number 2. Feit has the third spot for now. Pope trying to take it away. A car length and a half, maybe 2, back to the 7. Up through the left hand. Turn 3, now to the right-hander, turn 4, which leads him out onto the back straightaway. Big advantage for the 1 at this point, about 5 car lengths now, back to the 7. to go here from the Glen. Alan Vaught checked out, 18.3 seconds back to the 6 of Robertson. The battle we're watching and been focusing on here for the latter half of this race is between David Feit and Tim Pope. That's the battle to watch, and it's hot and heavy. Remember, the last time Pope got around Feit was in turn 11 to the outside, carried the momentum down into turn number 1 and took the spot. We'll see if Feit remembers that here in the next lap, because Pope is right there, right to the back bumper, just a few feet off the back of that Ford Mustang as they're down into turn number 1. Feit drives it in real deep, though, gets the advantage out of the corner. We'll see if that benefits Pope up through the S's. Pope closes the gap just a little bit more. A couple of car lengths back to the 7. Now under braking. Feit pulling the defensive line here into the bus stop. You can't be too aggressive with that defensive line here because it's going to throw away your entry if you do. Pope is right there. Real good exit out of the carousel, but has to check up again into turn 10. Pope, short exit though there. Looking to the outside in 11, trying to set up that same pass he had before. Nothing doing this time, but he might have the run down the front stretch. Feit did not have a good exit. Once again, Pope shortcuts the backside of the corner here, looks to the inside, not close enough to get alongside, but just to the back bumper here, up through the S's yet again. Laps winding down here from the Glen. Feit running for his life, trying to hold off the 7 to Tim Pope. Last lap for Pope, 7/100ths slower than David Feit. I think all that is the fact that he's behind the 1 right now. I think if he got clear, he might be able to put some distance, but he's got to get that done. He's got to complete that pass for it to matter. Continuing to watch this fight into the carousel here yet again. Different lines through that carousel. Pope jumps down to the apron of the racetrack, right to the rumble strip. On the exit of the carousel, both drivers keep it between the white lines. Down past my campsite, now into turn number 10. Yet again here, laps almost running out, and Feit runs wide out of turn number 10. Opens the door big time for Timothy Pope. Pope looking to the outside just like he was before. Feit trying to battle back on the inside, has a nose of an advantage out of the exit, but down the straightaway, it looks like Pope's going to pull him and drag him down into turn number 1. Tim Pope back up into the 3rd spot. So new 3rd place driver, it's the 7 to Tim Pope, and as we kind of expected, he was going to start to run away here if he got clear, and man, he has done so already here. 5-6 car lengths back to David Feit and growing as they're up through the S's. Some lap traffic just up ahead. That is the 18 car of Hunt, 18th position driver, of Kevin Hunt. It's the 4-3-4. That allows Feit to close the gap back up. Will lap traffic play a factor? Hunt tries to go wide, leaves it to the lead lap cars. He does so. Good job by the 434 to do so. Alan Vaught, meanwhile, just having a Sunday drive or a Wednesday evening cruise, however you want to look at it. But Alan Vaught out of turn number 4 here, down the back straightaway, still turning some pretty decent laps here. Minute 12:92 the last time, but let's give a hand to Trevor Robertson. Matched that time to the 100th almost here. Minute 12:93 for the 6th, that last lap by. Vaught through the carousel corner here, down through the short chute. The drivers run the old Grand Prix course here at the Glen. This is the section of course that they ran until about 1972 when they added the boot section of the racetrack, making this place much more technical, but the Cup cars still run the old layout. Back to start finish, final lap, white flag in the air here from Watkins Glen. Alan Vaught one more circuit, 2.45 miles before he'll look at a checkered flag and pick up the win here at the Glen. Alan Vaught into the final two corners here at Watkins Glen International. A left and then a right and then the home straight back to start finish. From pole position, leading the most laps, if not all of them. Dominating performance here at the Glen. The 33 Mobil 1 Mustang takes the checkered flag. Alan Vaught with the win. Robertson now down the short chute into turn number 10. Unchallenged. Tim Pope straight away back. The 6, just a couple of more corners to lock up a second place finish. Certainly a job well done for the 6. The Grave Digger machine out of 11 for the final time. He'll pick up the second place position. Tim Pope, same thing, out of 11. A little loose on exit. Tim Richmond style is going to cross the stripe third. So Alan Vaught, your race winner. I gotta say, I'm super impressed here with Alan Vaught. I know he's good on the ovals, but man, this was a performance to be admired here at Watkins Glen. Even on the straightforward racetrack of Watkins Glen, it's still a road course. You're still making lefts. You're still making rights. You got to be perfect on the brakes, good on the throttle. You can't over-rotate the race car on exit, and you've got to do it for 55 laps. Job well done by Alan Vaught picking up the win here tonight. Vaught parks it here at start finish, probably waiting for the second and third place machines to roll up for the photo. There's your top three: Alan Vaught, Trevor Robertson, and Timothy Pope. You see any burnouts from the 33? Does not appear to be the case. So we'll step aside here, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with our top three finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Watkins Glen International, race 11 in the books, and Alan Vaught with the victory here on the road course. We'll see if we can get a word here with the winner of tonight's race, the driver, that number 33, Mobile One Ford, Alan Vaught. Pull him up into the booth, get a word. Alan, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Alan, congratulations, man. An awesome run here tonight, and I don't know, maybe I'm just new to the fold here and I didn't know this about you, but you're a closet road racer, man. How'd you get this one pulled off in such dominant fashion?
Man, just made sure I was ready for it. And I expected a lot more a close racing than what I got. I got lucky, though, at the beginning, able to get out there to a pretty comfortable lead, and then I tried to make sure I wasn't overdriving the car and trying to put them in a position where they're going to have to overdrive theirs to catch me. So that was basically what I did. It doesn't always turn out that way, but fortunate tonight.
Yeah, we saw it in the early runnings. You were turning some pretty quick laps. Obviously, a minute 10.6, I think it was, in qualifying, and low 11s in the race. A lot of talk in the Discord chat throughout the week coming up to this race that low 11s were going to be pretty damn quick, and then 10s were going to be lights out. You managed to put that 10 up at the board in qualifying. Did you put a lot of extra practice in this week here on the road course, or is that just something you kind of worked out tonight?
No, I mean, I practice every week, so I have a routine I go through no matter what the track. So I just did the same thing for this one.
Well, it paid off. It was a job well done here. I think you may have actually led every single lap. So an awesome win here tonight. We look forward to Auto Club Speedway next week in the trucks, though. How do we close out the season? How do you feel about picking up maybe 2 in a row next week?
Well, I love Auto Club. But I don't have such a huge gap in the championship point standings. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to go all out or if I'm going to try to play defense. You know, I like that track. I run well at that track. The trucks are really good for me at that track, but everybody is really good at that track too. So it's gonna be a show. Just hopefully it's clean, because we tend to either go flag to flag or we have a little bit of a wreck fest.
Well, to quote the Intimidator himself, it pays more to win. That's not just in the pocketbook, but also in points. So just keep that in mind.
Yes, sir.
Before we let you go, Alan, who do you want to thank?
Hey, man, as always, my wife Lori for all that she does for this league and for me in particular. My son Kyle, hope he had a good run tonight. I think he finished 12th, so that's good. And Taylor up there in Chicago watching us. My team, Vigilante Force, Kelly Cole, Dave Mayberry, and Greg Klein, and then Track Limits, you, Steve, for highlighting this league the way you do and showing the talent that these guys have, because it's an incredible league, I think, and damn tough to win these things.
Well, I'll be honest, you guys make my job pretty easy up here in the booth. You put on good shows each and every week, man, so I certainly appreciate you. So congrats again here on the win, and good luck next week at Auto Club.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
Alan Vaught, your race winner here at the Glen. Next, we're going to talk to Trevor Robertson, who really pushed hard here in the latter stages of this thing to come up with that second place finish. It was certainly well earned. It wasn't given to him by any stretch of the imagination. Trevor, it's Steve with Track Limits. Do you got me?
Yes, sir.
Trevor, congratulations, man. A 4th place starting position, solid run in qualifying, a 2nd place finish here in the race at the Glen. Road racing, well, again, I'm still learning a lot of you guys, but is this something that you seem to be pretty good at it? Because the 2nd place finish here, it's certainly no small task to achieve.
I'm usually fairly decent. I ran in VR this time just because I don't normally run this car on a road course, but I got her figured out in practice, so
certainly
I got
it.
Pretty consistent at the end there.
Certainly got it figured out. We watched the battle with you and David fight there for a little bit, but you got some track position during the pit stop. I don't know if it was an overcut or an undercut, but you ended up coming out there in that 2nd spot, and you were able to hang on to it for the rest of the run. Was there a strategy at play here tonight, or were you just trying to get the hammer down and just stay out as many people as you can?
Just trying to keep the car from going around on you. It's really easy to do in that last turn. But no, I did undercut fight there. that last pit stop. That's the only way I could get around him. My tires were shot. I figured I'd just jump in a little early. But I swear I looked at Pope's bumper the whole race. I mean, I caught him several times, and just every time I would, just a mess up, just a slight dip in a tire where you don't want to. That's all it takes to get you out of rhythm here.
Keeping it between the lines is the way to perform well here on the road courses. You did that for the most part here tonight, so job well done. Looking forward next week to Auto Club Speedway. We're back in the trucks next week to close out the season. How do you feel about another solid performance next week?
I mean, Auto Club's all right. It'll be pretty decent. I have bad luck on big tracks. I don't know what it is. I just cannot put a good finish together to save my life. Whether it be dogs unplugging my wheel in the middle of the race, or just getting caught up in a just random wreck. These off seasons I don't usually do well in, but I'm hoping to buckle down and get back to being consistent this next season.
Well, one more to go here in season 10 before we go back to Daytona here in a couple of weeks. Congratulations on the runner-up finish here at the Glen. Trevor, who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Just shout out to Jess and Lori to putting everything together every week and keeping everybody in line, and everybody's having a good time. So it's just a pleasure to be in with this group of guys. That we got some racers in here, I'm telling you. And a shout out to you in the booth. I've only got to catch one or two of the broadcasts lately, but you do a hell of a good job, and we can't wait to see more of it next season.
Well, Trevor, I appreciate the kind words, man. I'm my worst critic for sure, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. We're happy to do it each and every week, certainly when I'm not traveling. But we'll be here next week for Auto Club. We look forward to some strong running out of you in the 6, man. Good luck, and again, good job here tonight, man. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Trevor Robertson, your second place finisher here at the Glen. Next, we're going to talk to the driver of the 7. That's Tim Pope. We'll pull him up in the broadcast booth here right about now. Tim Pope, Steven Track Limits broadcast booth. You got us?
Yep.
Tim, congrats, man. We talked to you a lot, man, and it's always on the ovals. We talked a little bit of how you felt about the road course coming up here at the Glen. I'll tell you, whether you like this place or not, you did well here tonight. Third place finish. You might have had a little bit more in the car. Hard to say, but we did notice late in the run, I think it was after the final pit stop, a little bit of right front damage. We did not catch where that came from. Was there some contact with another driver or the Armco?
Coming out of the long right-hand turn on what turn after the bus stop, I got a little squirrely and hit the inside guardrail there where it came from. Got on the gas a little bit too much.
Well, you're still able to drive it back to a third place finish, and I just got to ask, do you really run road courses hardly at all? Is there any time you get some experience going left and right, or is it just something you might be able to pick up from a little bit of short track racing? Because we've seen some guys that are good on road courses that somehow turn out decent on short tracks. Does it work both ways?
I guess. I really don't run road courses at all. Only ones I've ever run is in this league. But I did get a little help from Dustin over the weekend. He showed me some chip points and what gears to run in. That helped out a little bit.
Well, certainly good to see. Congratulations on that third place. We round out the season next week at Auto Club Speedway, back in the trucks. How do you feel about your shot at maybe picking up a win out there in Southern California?
Yeah, I'm going to give it all I got and go for it. I like that place.
All right, Tim. Well, congrats again, man. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
VRL for putting these good races on. You guys were awesome broadcasters every week. Everybody ADY. And Trevor for a good finish also in second.
All right, Tim. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Tim Pope, your third place finisher here at the Glen. That'll do it for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Of course, we're going to jump into our race results right now. There it goes. Alan Vaught, your race winner. Trevor Robertson, second place. Third place was Timothy Pope. Fourth place finisher went to David Fight. Jeremiah Burke picked up the 4th spot. David Fight finishing in the 5th position. Dylan Bryant was 6th. John Osborne 7th. Mike Adamson finished 8th. John McAdam 9th. Andrew Coffin was 10th. Sean McDonald 11th. Kyle Vaught was 12th. Craig Goodenough was 13th. Andrew Player 14th. Anthony Williams was 15th. Dave Mayberry finished in the 16th spot. 17th went to Mike Everidge. Kevin Hunt 18th, Scott Roney was 19th, Dion Jones rounding out the top 20. 21st position was Chris Klein. Didn't see a lot of him tonight. Road racing not his thing, but still a solid run for the 18 machine. Greg Dobson, after an incident on track, finishes 22nd. Kelly Cool, 23rd. Derek Welch, strong early, a top 5 runner for a bit. Had to call it quits early on. Admittedly, couldn't make the whole race here tonight, but good to see him here nonetheless. Ricky Wittenberg was 25th. Larry Dickerson, 26th. 27th went to the 48 of Jack Dixon. 28th was John Gallagher. Russ Kilgore, 29th. 30th, Dustin Eaton. Again, tough break for Dustin. He had a strong car, too. Woulda, shoulda been a challenger for the race win here tonight as well. It'd be interesting to see how that battle with him and Alan Vaught could have been, but trouble out of the bus stop here. Maybe a connection issue. Dustin Eaton's going to finish in the 30th spot. 31st, Dustin Wade. 32nd, last but not least, the 84 of Josh Bittner, and it looks like he did not even take the green flag. Just kind of a start and park here tonight for Josh Bittner. But those are your race results here from the Glen. Race number 11 of the Vigilante Racing League. Make sure you guys tune in next week, Wednesday evening, Auto Club Speedway, same time, same channel, about 8:45 if you just want to be conservative about things and not miss a moment of the action. Get your snacks, get your beverages ready ahead of time. We'll be here live. Green flag racing about 9:05, I think the time is, once we finally fire off green at Auto Club to close out Season 10. With that said, congratulations again. A dominant performance by the 33 of Alan Vaught. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight, and big time thank you to the stream chat. Super busy here tonight. We love to see that. I appreciate you guys jumping in. Even some new names that I haven't seen in a while. I know it looks like Lori knows some of those newer names, but either way, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for saying hey. If you haven't already done so, click that thumbs up in the stream. That helps us quite a bit, actually. Not just us, but also VRL. It gets fresh eyeballs on the channel. We've seen some new names popping up in the chat here over the last handful of weeks, so it's definitely making a difference. Keep on doing it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well. Make sure that you didn't already subscribe, because if you click it again, you're unsubscribing. You'll still be able to watch the races, but it doesn't help our numbers. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber number here before the end of the year. I know it's only February, but we'd like to get it done by, well, let's say March, April, if we could. I'll take it whenever we can get it. That's going to wrap it up for us, though. Congratulations again to Alan Vaught. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you, Lori, for having us, and we'll see you at the next one. You guys have a good night.